ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, man. Welcome to the big broadcast with your boy, Big Step Up, Big Baby J. It's been a minute since we did a video one, but we had to bring out the special one for episode 49. We got my dog, my guy right here, Benny Legacy, man. Talk to the people, my guy.
What's going on, man? Thank you, Jay, for having me on, bro. It's been a real honor. It's talking to you for a little while, and I've been watching your stuff, so it's finally nice to be on the Baby J show. Let's go.
Sir. Yes, sir, man. I rock with this guy heavy, man. And so much so that I actually started training with him. Benny Legacy, the Legacy fam. And you know what? As we go into summer, we're all trying to get fit, look good for the beach. I don't know about y'all, but Ottawa is hot right now. So people going to the beach, man. I gotta bring personal trainer and homie Benny to speak to the people, man. So we gotta start off like this, man. Tell me your story, brother. How do you get into fitness? How do you get into this, man?
Yo, man. So that can kind of go back. Thanks for that, man. It's just pretty much like many people, man. You start off young, you try to find your way, your way into everything, right? So I found sports were kind of a way you feel that team atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
Right? Where kind of like the ethnic separations or cultural backgrounds don't really matter because there's that common goal, right? So sports were the catalyst. And then obviously to get better at sports, I realized like weights would complement that. So, man, growing up, like I grew up here. So I was kind of bullied as a kid. We all experience bullies, man, as kids, right?
Of course. I used to do a lot of the bullying, so I'm trying to
like you, huh?
Yeah, man. But you know what? A lot of the bullies, man, because they were getting bullied too, they also had issues. But you're right, Benny. You're spitting facts.
Yeah, no, that's actually true, man. You learn that as we get older, right? So you kind of that resentment towards them goes away, and then you actually kind of are grateful for them because you realize they went through their own thing, but that also helped you yours. So piece that all together. But yeah, man, I started working at the gym at 15 years old. So I remember I started cleaning like the toilets and stuff like that. And I just felt like that was exactly where I wanted to be because I saw pretty much, man, big guys going in there with nice looking girls. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, man.
Let's be real. Yeah, that's a lot of the motivation. Yep, that's a fact.
When you're 15, 16, it changes. It's changed now. But I mean, at that time, it was like, how do you get girls, right? And I realized the guys that had more physical dominance at that time were just getting them. So started doing that, and then that just compounded. I realized that started, motivating community, friends, family to go to the gym. And after 16 to 19, that's when I started at Good Life, man. That's when I applied to monster jobs at Good Life. I had no idea what a personal trainer was, believe it or not. Yeah, and 2009, and that's kind of history, man. Since then, I've just been in the industry for that whole time.
Nice. So you got motivated by fitness. You're already in the industry pretty early, and then you got into the personal training. And a lot of my listeners, a lot of people who listen to the broadcast, maybe they're not so used to the gym. You know what I mean? They're not used to that atmosphere, man. What are some maybe tips and tricks you would give to people? Maybe it's their first time going to the gym, or maybe they feel weird about lifting weights, they'd rather do cardio. What are some of your tips and tricks and advice to new gym goers? Because I've been going to the gym since I was younger too, but I'm trying to get back to, get back to being super fit. So what's your advice to people who are new to the gym?
That's a good question, man. Insightful question. You're already doing really well for the guys watching or girls watching this. This guy's
appreciate that, fam.
Killing it, and just watch out for him. So, and then yeah, so and that's not advertising. That's just speaking the truth. But
appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, man. For people going to the gym, it's kind of like the way I break that down is like treat it like anything else that's new. Because the worst thing you can do is compare.
Facts.
Right? That's the worst thing. I think that was kind of the fuel at the beginning for the whole fitness journey, was the comparison. Kind of like you're irrefutable. Like, oh, if you look good, you're in shape, no one can say anything mean to you, right? And then we all know people will still find mean things to say. So in the end of the day, just know the best looking person in the gym feels sometimes as uncomfortable about their own body or own mindset or own place in life in that gym as the very new person stepping in there does. So
Wow.
that's a crazy comparison to think about, right? So
Mhm.
just remember that it doesn't really matter where you are in that journey. People are there because there's something they want to improve on. So if you're new to the gym, I'd say like number one, go in with a no expectation kind of thing. And then
Mhm.
number two, it's also before I used to say just go. You know what I mean? Like just go to the
Yes.
gym. But now I almost feel like because there's, Jay, because there's so much information out there and there's so
Mhm.
much advertising in our face all the time, it does help if you consult with somebody that's in that realm first.
Mm. Yeah, that's always what I kind of thought. Well, because I read books. I used to go check YouTube videos, look at Elliot Halls and all these Ronnie Coleman,
Yeah.
Kai Green, all these bodybuilders who inspired me, Flex Wheeler, all these guys. I just check them out online and then try to mimic them. But ever since I started getting personal training by you, it's helped me be so organized, man. I'm not just going in the gym, just lifting. I have a goal, I have a specific day, I have specifics, and you know what? I think that's something that people kind of lack, having some kind of mentorship, somebody in your corner, you know what I mean? What motivated you to get into, well, you mentioned how you got into personal training, but what made you really go hard in personal training? Because you work really hard yourself, bro. Like what really, yeah, I'm just curious.
No, I appreciate that.
Mm.
So that's you know what, man? If number one, youngest of four, right? So I always
Wow.
try to be cool with the older people
Right.
when you're young, right? And then you know that it's like a defense mechanism.
For
So
sure.
then you learn to listen, and oh yeah, everyone tells you everything, and then eventually you learn to use that for to help people. So with PT, what I realized, man, is like there was an immediate way to make an intimate connection with somebody right
Mm.
off the bat, right? And then it's
Yeah.
kind of like what I realized is the more you can like be transparent with yourself, then you can be transparent with them, right? And then it's kind
Mm.
of like personal training to do well at it, or like any businessman, like your podcast is blowing up because people like it, but the reason being is
Appreciate that.
you're a good people person. And I felt like it doesn't
Yeah.
PT taught me one thing, man. You can have the most amazing product or service in the world, but it's really like people will buy people.
Facts.
So I
Facts.
felt personal training was just something that taught me how to work with, communicate, and let my ego down with all different demographics and type of people and learn from them. That was the biggest thing.
Mm.
Learning from people was is the number one reason I've stayed in this, and the networks, like the connections you
Nice.
meet. So like when you get into PT, you meet you meet lawyers, you meet doctors, you meet surgeons, nurses, and they all share their story, and you realize that everyone is going through something. So
Wow.
that was really empowering.
And you know what? That's a great thing you mentioned because for me, I'm kind of an entrepreneur myself. I do multiple businesses. I try to grind, and obviously the podcast is a grind too. So you're
Sure.
absolutely right, fam. Meeting all different types of people, all walks of life. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Maybe you can say some words of motivation. I might be speaking for myself, man. What are some motivational things that make you be a real like entrepreneur? Like what keeps you going? Because I know personal training is pretty competitive. There's a lot of guys in the industry. You know what I mean? Women too. Yeah.
Yeah. So what keeps you going, you mean? Like what's the
Yeah. What keeps you motivated to keep going hard in personal training? Because it's pretty competitive. No, I might be right. I might be wrong. I don't know.
It is, yeah.
Mm.
You know what? So you're as an entrepreneur can attest to this, right? I think
Yes.
everyone in the world can be an entrepreneur. There's no doubt in my mind. But there's two things that really make a good entrepreneur. It's number one, they really are able to break down limiting beliefs that they have.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then number two, they're really good at being mentored.
Oh.
For me, like the reason why I went down that road was just because I felt like those are the two key aspects to learning to provide more value to people.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then to stay motivated, man, in any realm of entrepreneurship, like so for example, like my dad's side from China, they came here through war, obviously, and they opened Chinese restaurants because They were doctors and surgeons in China, but their education was not valid here, right? So
Yeah.
when they came here in the 50s, man, what are you good at doing? Cooking chicken rice, and they just cooking that stuff up, man.
I
So
love that. I love chicken fried rice, man. That's my ish.
and so what I learned about that was just like entrepreneurship isn't so much about the destination, but it's about the character that's built in the journey. So
Right.
when it comes to fitness, number one, I feel best when I physically feel best,
Nice.
right? Because, and then secondly, then what that means is I wanted to stay in a realm or a niche where that
Mm.
was my focus,
Nice. For
you
sure.
know? So I realized that, yeah, I get it. There are, like, if you look at Mavlov's hierarchy of needs, right? There are some businesses that will never die, like
Yes.
oil, electricity, whatever, right? During COVID, we saw that fitness took the biggest hit right away.
Oh yeah, facts. They closed down the gyms. And ironically, think about it like this. You need your body to fight. Fight. Your immune system needs to actually fight. And the best way to improve your immune system is to work out, eat healthy, work on your fitness. And the gyms were closed. I was so mad, man. I was cheesed, my guy. You know?
Yeah, that's it, right? Because I think this can kind of be this can sound cliche, Jay.
Yeah.
But man, we can choose. This is like we've had this conversation many times.
Yeah.
This could be a moral or an ethic like direction, right?
Let's go both
So,
ways. Let's do it.
so yeah, man. Part of me, it kills me being an entrepreneur in the fitness industry because a lot of guys that make the most money
Mm.
actually provide the most value, but on a superficial level, if that makes sense.
Okay. Can you explain a bit more?
So, for example, it's a tricky industry. You can be like an influencer,
Right.
okay? Meaning, you broadcast a lifestyle to people,
Right.
but not necessarily like you might not. A lot of influencers use, in our industry, a lot of them use performance enhancing supplements, but will broadcast that their workouts and their diets and their training and their lifestyle is like what got them that result.
Facts.
I'm not angry, I'm just passionate. Okay. Because you've been in this for a while, right? So what
Yeah.
happens, you can either go down that route of marketing that lifestyle to people and rent the nice cars and showcase that your programs got you this lifestyle, or
Yes.
you can try to go the way, man, to actually heal people. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
I really believe that is a longer term game. The monetary growth from that is a slower one because let's face it, man, people love pain.
Yeah. You're right.
So they know an advertisement is bad for them, or even if they know this influencer is bad for them, they're still going to indulge in that, right? And
Yes.
that's the algorithm that guys like you and I want to go against. Like that's what we're pushing against, right? So
100%.
so that's what motivates me, man. Is like because in the end of the day, I get it. If it was about becoming a millionaire and becoming rich, 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 I want that goal. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it's about how I can stand on the top of the podium and explain to people how I got that wealth, right?
Yes. Yes. It's
So that's
definitely
the
about how you do things rather than exactly how you get there. Because like there's something I want to just discuss, almost like a side thing.
yeah.
Have you heard of this thing called Ozempic?
Ozempic.
Hmm.
It's something for guys, right? And is it
It's
like a sex performance thing?
no, no, no. It's a diabetes medication, like almost like a needle that a lot of people have been using recently to lose weight. It's meant for people with diabetes to lose weight and help them out. But a lot of people who don't need it, people who are already fit, people who are already low percent body fat, are using it in the fitness industry. Like Kim Kardashian uses it. A lot of celebrities use it to maybe lose 10 pounds to get in a dress, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can lose weight doing that, but is that morally right? No, because it's meant for people with diabetes, right? So people are finessing the system. And that's something I've noticed in the fitness industry. A lot of people are finessing the system to make money when behind the scenes they're using performance enhancing drugs, things like Ozempic to lose some more weight. And then they show you maybe their workout plan, but you don't know behind the scenes they're doing all this crazy ish. So it's how you do things on top of the results as well. So I agree with you because that's
Liver,
happening a lot right now. You know?
liver. Remember
Liver King is a great example. Exactly.
he's a prime example, right? Like
Yes.
you will in our industries, man, in our niches or whatever. I get it. You'll run into guys that will say a tool is a tool. It's a technology. Taking performance drugs is a technology. Just like somebody rides a car, just like somebody takes coffee, or just like someone smokes a cigarette.
Yeah.
We don't ourselves. So who's to say what's morally right? Because they say alcohol is good for us, but
Right.
testosterone, steroids are not, right? So this
Right.
is where the moral dilemma will always come in. And I think, man, we can never really, that marketing will always expand, because you got kind of capitalist mindset and communist mindset. The whole world is divided between what's right and like what's not right, but you can spin it to being it right? If that makes
Absolutely. No,
yeah,
it makes perfect sense. People rationalize things that
yeah, there
might
you
be
go.
negative for them. And you know what's crazy? Well, not even crazy, just something I noticed because I used to follow bodybuilding heavily, right? A lot of these guys look incredibly fit, 5% body fat, muscles booming everywhere. But sometimes they die young. They have liver issues. So the most healthiest looking people are low key unhealthy.
I know.
How crazy is that?
It's almost like the celebrity lifestyle, right? It's like
Facts.
they are famous and everyone thinks everyone knowing them is going to be great, but the fact that they can't go out and not be recognized anywhere they go
Yes.
keep them in isolation, which is when they turn to drugs. And then why you see all that? It's very interesting, man, how that works. What you just said. So
It is very interesting, but yeah, my bad. That was like a little tangent. I just wanted to get on
like,
that because it's something I've noticed, and I just wanted to get your opinion on it. You feel me?
for sure, man, for sure. And like I don't know, what do you think about that? Like, what's your opinion on that? Because
Mm,
the world's competitive,
for sure, for sure.
right? And sometimes it takes that commitment, right? Or that risk. So where do you
Yeah.
stand?
My opinion is this. I always salute and show love to the people who do things natural. You know what I mean? Who don't need to do um performance enhancers or tricks or all these weird things in the back. But at the same time, you have to also understand your competition too. Like if I'm, for example, Nick Walker, I like this bodybuilder. I think he's a very good bodybuilder, right?
Very
He
good.
has to take performance enhancing drugs because his entire competition is doing the same thing, right? I think that it's a risk, but at the same time, I always salute folks who do it the natural way. Ronnie Coleman when he started, Dorian Yates when he started. But when it
Sure.
comes to things that are professional and like high level athletes, um, it's unfair, but unfortunately, that's how the game goes. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
Academic side, right? So
Mhm.
for example, they say about 80 to 90% of Harvard students use Adderall or modafinil.
Yes, yes,
Right? So, for example, that is a brain performance enhancing drug.
it is.
So it just depends where you compare that industry to, right? It's a tricky one.
Absolutely.
That one is like that's like politics, religion, man. That's
Yeah, man. We going deep, brother. We going deep. I might have to put this on Patreon if I we go too deep. I have to do a little paywall for this. By the way, if y'all know and y'all don't know it yet, I always put early the podcast early access is always on Patreon. Y'all tap in if you're interested. But yeah, Benny, I just wanted to tap into tips and advice you want to give to people as they start the summer, people who maybe want to lose weight, maybe get some abs, maybe look good for the summer. What's your advice to people, man? What do you recommend for losing weight, maybe gaining muscle, or maybe some ladies out there want to work on their glutes? What's your advice, brother?
okay. So it's gonna be okay. Number one, I used to have different advices for that, and they all kind of came short, man. The number one thing is the same thing I told you when we started. Now,
Yes, sir.
if you're gonna do anything, do it properly. Don't do it where 4 or 5 months later you're gonna regret it. We've all been there. So number one thing, man, I would say to make yourself not only like people are going for a look because they want to feel. That's
Right.
what's going on, right? So number one, I tell them like, listen, that look, it's not gonna give you what you want, It's the same way as if you see a lot of really super uber wealthy people that are still depressed because they
Mm,
didn't do it properly. So it's the same thing. You can see a lot of guys that grow six pack shredded to the core and they're fucking miserable. They're miserable people.
mm.
You've probably seen that. They got
Yeah,
resting
I've
bitches
seen that.
in the gym. They're not happy. So my major point for people that are wanting to get into that lifestyle is number one, what we work on is the metabolic budget, right? Fix your body's hormonal and homeostasis output, right?
Mm,
So that number one thing, if anyone's listening to this, is fix your basal metabolic requirements. So if your body needs a specific amount of calories every single day in
mm,
order to fuel a homeostasis process, meaning you feel good, right? You're sweating, you have good energy, you don't have anxiety, not too much depression, you're getting good sleep. That will feel so much better, man, than being shredded and still living with all those problems. If that
right.
if that makes sense, right?
Mm,
Because this is the reason why I'm saying for beginners to think this way, because if you think that end result is going to be what gives you that that peacefulness in your body, it doesn't oftentimes do that for people unless their major insecurity and pain point was not looking like that. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
But
mm,
90% of the people that we'll work with, that's not their major pain point, but
mm,
they use that as a guiding point to get lean and I'll feel better. But really, when they start feeling better, man, is when they have a structure, like you said at the beginning of this video,
mm,
that they have a structure for themselves. They're
mm,
organized, right?
mm,
Because then no matter what, they feel like, okay, I'm not lean now, but I know I'm losing X amount of pounds per week, or I'm gaining a little bit of weight this week, but it's because I'm now eating more high density nutrient whole foods than I was previously consistently. So yeah, my body will go up on the scale a little bit
mm.
because lean muscle weighs more than fat. So I always remind people that when they're beginning dieting and you start eating the right amount of food, you will go up on weight on the scale. It's
Yeah.
impossible. Okay. But I'll give two examples here. Why going long term is better than short term. And it works perfectly for this summer example. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a lady who was going on vacation 4 weeks. She said she's going to do a little crash diet because she wants to lose some weight before the trip.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
So this lady, she went all the way down to 1,500 calories. In a month, she dropped something like 15 pounds. It was impressive.
wow.
Okay. When she went on her trip, she came back and she was up almost double, almost 28 pounds. Now, I'll tell you why, because she
Wow.
was only used to eating 1,500 calories for a month and
Right.
she was exercising like a mad person to burn that weight, right? So when she got back on vacation, she went in relax mode. Her calories doubled. Her
Mm,
ability to handle that energy, it had no idea what to do with that caloric value. It had no idea how to handle that energy budget, right? That caloric budget of food coming in. So she put
mm,
on, okay. Now the other example is I had a lady that went on vacation 4 weeks. We put her calories up, okay, to about 2,500 calories a day. She put on 6 pounds
mm.
that month. Just think about how she felt going to vacation, okay? So
Oh, yeah.
it almost fired,
Mm.
almost fired me, man. But that's okay. I stuck to the, what I mean? So
Mhm,
go by a burn with the boats. And when on vacation, man, she kept her active lifestyle. But because she was allotted to eat, her metabolism was get used to eating 2,500 calories
mhm.
a day. She was able to eat, the dessert, the wine, have all the snacks. And when she came back, she actually dropped about 7, 8 pounds of the total 9 she gained from the
Wow.
before. So I was telling her, I'm like, do you see what happens when you build a budget that your hormones and your energy systems and your circadian rhythm can actually work with? So to new
Mm,
beginners that want to essentially, man, get in better shape, I would say start to just, if you, whatever ideal weight you want to weigh. So say you want to weigh 200 pounds or like a lady wants to weigh 140, 150, or whatever the number, start to
right.
have a gram of protein for that ideal weight. Okay.
Mm,
The reason being is protein is if we can build muscle, we can trick our body into needing more fuel. By tricking our
mm.
body needing more fuel to repair the muscle, then we can intake more food.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
By intaking more food, good food, we get more of a metabolic capacity. our body's ability to eat more and burn more goes up higher and higher, which means we can eat more without gaining weight. So I'll tell you one example, man. When I first competed, this is a big one for people wanting to do a cut. I started my calories so low.
Oh, you competed, by the way? I didn't know that. Nice.
It's been 2006 was my last one, man. So it's 2000. Sorry, I was 26, so I'm 32. So it's been about 6 years since I competed.
Nice, respect. No, I always salute competitors of any degree, regardless of PEDs or not. I salute it. It takes hard work, dedication, and focus. Salute to you, by the way. Yep.
Salute, man. So I had a coach in Montreal, man, and when I first competed, I showed him what I was eating, right? And then he came to me and he's like, look, you eat less. You're 26, 27. You eat less calories than like some of my 21-year-old bikini competitors. And I was like, at that point, I was like, there's no way, right? So then he showed me some of these ladies that were competing, and they were eating upwards of 27 to 3,000 calories a day.
That's a lot. Holy.
And they were fairly lean, man. Fairly lean.
Wow. Okay.
So what I realized is that I was so stuck in this mindset of scarcity. If I eat, I'm going to get fat, right?
Yes.
Right? Or if I eat too much protein, or I eat too much rice, chicken, and vegetables, or whole foods, if I eat fruit, I'm going to gain weight. There's a lot of misconceptions in that realm. So number one, for people trying to just get started, man, 1 gram of protein, really basic, per pound of ideal weight. Okay. Number two is increase your hydration. Okay. So that's big, because if you're looking to get moving, we are 80% water. Our brain is pretty much like that, all water based. So the more circulation we have, the more water we have, H2O, that owes oxygen to our bodies. So for example, all red blood cells need oxygen. The more oxygen we provide to the red blood cell, the more volume of nutrient delivery we get. In all means, we're just fueling the beast. We're fueling the machine, right? So yeah, man, think about fueling. I always like saying this: fuel the Ferrari, because what I mean by that is like these high performing things, they you can't take away from them and expect them to perform.
Right.
You got to give them more. You got to give them more, and their performance and grows. So humans are the exact same way. We're the exact same way, man. So train. Your exercise too, man, can be like once every other day. You know, you jumped in right away. You started going, 5-6 days a week.
Yeah, man. I also just feel like sometimes it's a form of therapy, just lifting heavy weights and just going hard, listening to good music. I love it, it helps my mental health as well.
Mental health.
No, I have another question to you. Thank you again for the tips, man. That's dope. Even for me, I'm taking mental notes right now. You know what I mean? I gotta ask you then the opposite, right? Since you're giving good tips for, losing weight, fitness goals, and all these things, what do you go against, or what do you recommend newcomers in the gym should not do? You give us what they should do. That was a great explanation. But what should they not do? What should they maybe avoid? If you're a new person in the gym or you have fitness goals, what would you recommend might not be the best idea, brother?
Okay, that's a good one, man. That's number one, basic one is, so is this gym nutrition kind of like the lifestyle, or just in the gym specifically?
I say both, the lifestyle, gym, nutrition. What do you think people should avoid, or maybe some misconceptions, things that are conventional wisdom that you'd say, hey, maybe that's not the best idea. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so a couple of misconceptions. You can have like supplements do more than food. This is a big, okay, because a lot of people, food will impact somebody's physical transformation more than the gym, even though the gym may be the biggest catalyst that gets that physical transformation within the individual to happen, if that makes sense. Gym is like the initial motivation, right? That in therapy, like you were saying, but then eventually the nutrition kicks in, and that's what is the major catalyst to get that physique to. So I think, supplements are
By the way, just a quick thing to mention. My bad for cutting you off.
No, it's okay.
You're 100% right, man, because the nutrition part is something I've always struggled with. And I think that affects the weight so much more. Because you think, oh, I'm going to the gym all the time, I'm working out all the time. But the nutrition piece, man, watching what you eat, how you eat, that's something that I really, really have to work on. And that's something that I would recommend people pay attention to, man. What you're eating when you're eating. You're 100% right about that, my G. You know?
No, for sure, man. And no, that's good, man. But you've been doing much better with that too, so
I
that's good.
appreciate that, man. Yeah, this
Yeah,
guy making
other
me blush. Yes,
uh,
sir.
yeah, man. And then I would say another one too would be potentially train with. This is a different one, but sometimes it helps training with somebody at your level, like finding a partner to train.
Okay.
But on the flip side, do not become reliant on a gym partner.
Mm.
This is a big one
Mm.
for a lot of people that start off. They say, I used to go to the gym with my buddy.
Yeah.
Then buddy got a girlfriend. Now he goes to the gym with his girlfriend, and I just haven't gone for 6 months.
Damn.
You see what I mean? So number one, I think like finding that routine is for yourself. So misconception is like trying to get regular getting used to going by yourself is another one. Okay, is
Respect.
probably, and then I think, man, the other misconception is like cardio.
Oh, okay. Talk to me, man. I hate cardio so much, but I be doing it.
Like here's the other thing, right? Like I love
Mm,
cardio, but I don't do it, and this is the problem, right? Because I do love it, and the other
mm,
thing, what I realized is cardio is a tool for health, but it's a
true.
tool for weight loss. If you're looking for a tool for weight loss, it's not the tool to do. Okay, the
Oh,
cardio
okay.
is the working heart rate. So that's what I always try to tell people. Cardio doesn't have to be done on a machine like a treadmill. Cardio is a working heart rate per minute. So if I take
Mm,
weight, I do 5 exercises back to back. That's
yeah.
cardio. You see what I mean? So
Oh,
for new goers, don't get discouraged if you think the only form of cardio is on a treadmill or something like that. That would be another one.
respect. Great advice, my G. I have a few more questions for you. What are some of your biggest successes? And I won't say like failures or just like maybe something you struggle with as a personal trainer. Like, have you had maybe somebody who worked out really, really hard, lost like 50 pounds in a crazy amount of time, started competing? Because I've seen people who made such crazy gym transformations. I remember a homie of mine back in the day, back in high school. Dude was skinny as a twig, my guy, skinny as a twig. Started university, first year, second year. This man was going every single day. Dude became just, and then started competing and won a few competitions. And I'm
Okay.
like, wow, I was so shocked and amazed by that. And just really, it's motivational to see how far some people come. So, do you have maybe any success stories or maybe some not failures, but things maybe some clients you struggled with, or yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
You know what? The biggest success stories, man, are ones like for people that are just I think they've been through a lot in their life.
Yeah.
So like I could have a success story. Like, yeah, I had a guy who, he lost about 105 pounds in
Wow.
about 9 months with me, right? And the
Wow.
reason why we did it over that time period was because he wanted to compete. So I told him, listen, you already have muscle mass, keep the muscle. We'll chip away at the body fat. This way, in 9 months to a year, you'll look really good. You won't lose all your muscle mass.
Mhm.
Uh, and so from there, he competed. He did regionals, provincials, nationals naturally, which I was really impressed by. And he was a registered massage therapist as well at the time.
Wow.
So I like that, man, because it showcased a client that was able to give to others, but also give back to himself and make something happen.
Mhm.
So that was a great success story, man. And then probably the other one is, I had a lady that was, she was sexually assaulted, and she was, I guess you could say it's like raped, but she was married to the guy. So I don't know how you call that.
It still is like even if you're married to somebody, dating somebody, you can't force yourself on somebody if they
Yeah,
don't want it. Even men, well, obviously it happens to women to such a huge degree. You know what I mean? But even men, like let's say you don't even want to do something with your girl or your wife, and maybe she's being pushy or aggressive with it, that's still a form of a rape and assault, actually. So yeah, no. Sorry to hear that about that client, man. That's terrible.
It
Yeah, even
was.
a husband can do that, by the way. Yeah.
She had no, for sure, man. But she had the biggest glow up, right? So like,
Nice.
she put
Smart.
on, she like, she's a tall lady, 5'11". She was about 125 when we started.
Mm.
She's a testimonial on the website as well, and she ended up, she put on, she went the opposite way. She wanted to become like a bodybuilder type deal.
Nice.
So she put on, she went up to like almost 190 pounds, which is pretty big for a lady, you know.
Wow.
But
Respect.
yeah, man, but she changed her whole algorithm, and like she really impressed me. Yeah, she really.
Nice.
And the failure clients, man, in all fairness, I used to resent like when clients wouldn't adhere or comply, right? When you're younger and you're
Mm.
filled with ego and you're like, why didn't you listen to my meal plan or some crap like that, right?
Yeah.
No, you humble yourself. You look in the mirror and you're like, you don't even listen to half the stuff that you tell yourself to do all the time. So
Right.
to go, and if someone comes to you and asks you for assistance or guidance or coaching, why are you going to come down on them with that hammer opposed to just reiterating why they're doing this for themselves in the first place? So my biggest failures with clients, man, were just how I was not um, mature enough at that part of entrepreneurship and in my
Mhm.
business how to consult them to get back to where they needed to be. That's not them, that's more me, in all fairness.
Respect, brother. No, I really, you know what I really, really liked about you, or I still do, is you're like me. You take accountability and you put it on your shoulders. You're not somebody who's blaming other people. You're somebody who says, how can I improve? How can I do better? You know what I mean? You're not out here. And I think our society needs more of that. More people who are willing to say, not blame others, but work on ourselves as opposed to, you know, blame the outside world, you know what I mean, or anything like that. But you know something I really want to chat about, that I think you're really strong in, you have a lot of knowledge in, the mental health aspect of working out. Because I remember and I know that during the pandemic, everybody was inside. And I noticed a lot of people gained a lot of weight because you're sitting, you're not outside, you're not working out, gyms are closed. So I want to get your point of view about the mental health aspect of fitness, because I think that's really important. We need to be physically fit and also mentally fit. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. This
Mhm.
okay, so I don't know. You and I have spoken about a little bit religion and stuff before, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, definitely.
But I think we're both like, with all the information, we could say we're religious, but then spiritual, and we also see kind of how religion's used all types of things on people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Good and bad with everything, man. But what I've found, man, one of the things in the Bible, bro, it talked about how idle hands are the devil's playground, right?
Yes.
So we don't do anything. This is where the devil can kind of come into our body and kind of spin thoughts and create all these anxieties, right? So what I found with mental health in the physical realm is our body naturally has this algorithm where we need to sacrifice, we need to give to get. That's like the law of nature, right? The bell curve goes up, comes down, something dies for something else to live. This is just how it goes. So what I like with health and fitness, I think our body has a really natural algorithm for us to balance our happy and sad hormones, but it comes from physical exertion and pain. And I don't mean pain as in like you're doing an exercise wrong and you're causing pain on yourself. But what I truly believe, man, is that in the Bible it's stated that we either are consuming or we're creating. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So when we're consuming, we're typically idle. And this is where the fear and everything can come into our head. When we're
Mm.
creating, we're too busy working through the pains of creation, getting to the reward of that creation. So
Mm.
when you go to the gym, you are not consuming. You're creating space for your fears to go away, for your
Mm.
self-doubt to leave. You're creating dopamine. You're actually creating a natural hormonal combustion of chemical reactions in the body: serotonin, dopamine, leptin, testosterone, and estrogen. That five compounds of hormones are being released in our body when we create tension and physical force on ourselves, right? So
Mm.
by creating that pain on our body, bro, our body is releasing what we need to feel like we're in power again, like we're
Mm.
creating life for ourselves. So
Yes.
that the for when it comes to fitness and health in the gym, mental health, think about it. think about this number one right away. Am I consuming right now or am I creating? Right?
Right. Right.
When I eat food, man, when it comes to food too, it's the same thing. Like, I get it. If I eat a chicken breast I make at home or I eat it from, McDonald's, I'm still consuming the food.
Yes.
But with the consumption of that food, what kind of currency, what kind of energy is that giving me? So whatever I'm consuming, what is it going to allow me to create with?
Mm,
You see what I
mm,
mean? Because
absolutely. Hmm.
the more power we feed that creation, the higher we're going to feel and the less apathetic we're going to feel about our life. Like nothing matters. I can't do this. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
when you go to the gym, what I realized is no matter how good or how bad the workout is, you're going to walk out of there feeling like you're going to feel better about yourself, even to a micro degree.
Yes, I fully agree with that. You're accomplishing something when you go to the gym. You're accomplishing something when you do that long bike ride. You go play ball for, an hour or two with the homies. When you're doing something physical, and we've gotten in a society that's so sedentary, sitting down, not doing much, watching the TV all the time. I'm guilty of this as well, bro. I'm just keeping it real. But like the fact that you're like, I like how you put that. You're creating, you're going out there, you're doing something good for your body, good for your mental health. And man, nothing feels better after you finish the gym. You have an amazing pump. Your endorphins, your brain, everything feels amazing. You just there, man. You dialed in. It feels so amazing for the mental health, man. It's dope. I love it, man.
And this is, I think, and this is what you said is huge. And think about it, Jay, like this. Even
Mhm.
newest, the new world leading entrepreneurs are in shape. A lot of them are getting in shape.
Facts.
And what I realized is that even those people, they knew they're good at business, but their
Hmm.
belief was that you can't be super uber rich and in shape too. That's a limiting belief that even Elon said about himself, right? Because
Wow.
none of his mentors were in shape and super uber wealthy, right?
Mm.
So what we're starting to notice, man, is even that we just spoke about it before. An entrepreneur, or whether you want to go to a new position in your career or a new place in your life, we have to break down limiting beliefs,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And when we
Absolutely.
go to the gym, the reason why the gym or exercise in any component is super spiritually empowering is because it's you actually coaching yourself to break through your limiting belief. No mentor, no
Mm.
person is telling you can do it. Because if you're under the bar, man, and you're like, I don't got 5 more reps, and you get through 5 more reps, you're like, I told myself I got through 5 more reps, and I did.
Yes.
I didn't need my dad, I didn't need my principal, my teacher, I didn't need the priest, I didn't need fucking, excuse my language, I need God's blessing. I did it. So that's why it's been the fitness and the gym and everything's had to stay in the life, man, for me. And I always try to push it down to people is because
Yeah.
it's that one-on-one connection.
100%. And like you said, nothing feels better than lifting that weight you never thought you could do. You know what I mean? Doing that extra rep you never thought that you were able to push through. It's such an amazing feeling. And you know what? Um, we got to push that. That's why I love this health talk, this podcast with you, my man. Is there any last words you want to say? By the way, quick heads up, everything regarding to Benny, his website, his information is going to be in the description. Tap in, lock in with my boy. Anything you want to mention before we close this out? Any last words, my G? You know what I mean? To every folks listening to the big broadcast, my man.
Yes, sir. Well, first off, thank you to the folks listening to the big broadcast. Obviously that's giving Jay that platform, and thank you for Jay for providing the platform for me to
No
come on
problem.
to.
Mhm.
It's been an honor, bro. And lastly, man, the only thing I could really say is, take take time every single day to do something that makes you feel better. Don't feel guilty about it.
Mhm.
Fill your cups up, man, because if you're going to consistently give to other people, you'll realize that even if you're giving to them and you're not giving to yourself, sometimes the advice that you're giving is from scarcity, and it's toxic because you're not giving yourself the proper recovery and love that you need. So everything else you grow in that garden is poison. So this is where the world needs to get to. They need to focus on fixing their own garden, figuring out what they can improve in their own life, because no other destination will feel give them that feeling of fulfillment if they've never truly fixed what's going on with themselves, right? Yes. And the best way you can do that tangibly where I think is fix your health, fix your water, just get your sleep right, hang around the right environment, be around the right people. And man, that's about it. Enjoy life, man. This is our life,
That's perfect word to say, man. Enjoy life, live your life, live a healthy life. Tap in with my boy Benny. Information in the bio. Tap in with the Patreon for early access. Patreon people got this. Again, it's the big broadcast with Big Baby J, Big Stepper, and Benny. And we out.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
She's a dummy. I had to read your signs. You was living in cursive. But it was worth it. I felt you need you to tell me what you